I love this guy, man. I'm not just saying that because he's on hold. And he's a professional and he's on time making his phone call and it's a point around right here on the Rich Eisen Show. But he is a Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner. And he is a guy right there in that defensive line for the Baltimore Ravens, who are 3-1, could be easily 4-0, have been through a lot already in just 1 month of the season. Joining us here before Monday Night Football against the Indianapolis Colts, the capper to Week 5 that begins tonight. In the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line, it is Calais Campbell. How are you, Calais?
Hey, living the dream, baby. How you doing?
I am better for talking to you. Living the dream. What year is this for you now, Calais? What year is it now?
14.
Whoa. Come on. 14? That is crazy. That has got to be. Do you sit back and think about that at any point? Like, I can't believe this is year 14 for me. Right now.
Most definitely. Leading to the season, it kind of was one of those things where it was like, man, I had to really sit back and wow, just take a look at my career and, how bad I really wanted to, you have to make a decision. Do I really want to go out there and be what I could be, in year 14? And so, but I worked really hard, got into this position where I feel real good right now, man. So, it's been fun.
So you did spend some time during the spring or whenever wondering if you should keep it going, Calais?
Yeah. I feel like when you get to this level, you have to. You got to make a decision, because you can't just kind of do this. You got to really make a decision. And, I have to think about, all the different options and, where my life is, where I'm at this point in time, if I really want to be great at this. And so I made a decision and I bust my tail. I worked really, really hard.
What is that busting tail, working really hard, making sure you're as great as you can be in year 14? Walk me through what that really means, Calais, for you.
Yeah, I would say this offseason, there were some days where my legs were heavy and I was just sore as can be. I was tired, and you have to have a why. You have to have a reason for doing it because, when I was, 25 years old and I go out there and do my workouts, I felt great. I had no issues at all. You get a little soreness, a little cold time, I'll be fine. Versus now, it's a grind. I feel, every bit of it. And then I had to get myself into a position where I knew that if I do it now, if I did it in the spring, now in this current time, I'll feel good. And, late in the fourth quarter last week, man, I felt great. I feel like I was at my best.
How about that? So let's get to the why. Why? Why year 14? Why do it? Why?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first things first, I want to win a Super Bowl. I went to it as a rookie. And, a snot-nosed little kid not knowing how precious that moment was, it really was. I just couldn't, even though everybody told me that this is rare and appreciated. I was 22, and I couldn't know better. And so, a lot of ups and downs, a couple championship games, moments away from being in the Super Bowl and just haven't been able to get back. And I want it bad, man. I feel like this team and what we have, I know we're capable. And then, I just felt like, my career and what I've done, I want to be at the very end of it, with a bronze head and a gold jacket. That's always been a big goal of mine. I think everybody who plays this game should have that goal of being considered the best of the best when you do it. And, I feel like, I would like to leave no doubt. And so I know I got a lot of work to do.
So just going back to one more time here. So the Super Bowl that you were in, just so everyone can understand how long it was, that Super Bowl was the one in Tampa, right?
Yep.
With Kurt and Fitz and James Harrison and all of that, right? That was your Super Bowl?
That was my Super Bowl.
What was that one like for you? I've never asked you about that. That's kind of crazy. That feels like a different life for me professionally. It must feel like that way for you, too.
I mean, it was a long time ago,
yeah.
But it was, I still remember like it was yesterday because it was such a special time in my life. You think about all the time when I was a kid and I dreamt about playing the Super Bowl, and then my first year in the NFL, here it comes. And like that whole day, the whole week really, but that day leading up to the game, I couldn't even feel my body. Like I felt like my body was just I was floating everywhere I went. I was just floating. I couldn't even feel my legs. And it wasn't until the game started and I got that first hit where I was like, okay, this is just football. But it was an incredible experience, and to be able, it was just an incredible game for the people who remember it. It went down to the very last play.
Sure did. Sure did.
To be a part of.
I know. Calais Campbell here on the Rich Eisen Show, Monday Night Football, Colts and Ravens. So what makes you think the Ravens can win a Super Bowl? What gives you that sense, that feeling? Calais?
Well, first things first, I think we got a whole lot of talent in this building, and the number one reason is Lamar Jackson. He's just an incredible player that, just makes everybody else around him better. And then just the brotherhood we have. This place, we really have that bond where we play for each other. And I believe anytime you play for each other, it's going to allow you to play above your potential. You can play at the highest level of your potential when you're doing it for somebody else that's next to you. And we have that brotherhood so far. Now obviously, that's not enough. You got to go out there and execute and make plays. But we have the guys that can make the plays, and we're motivated to make them. So now it just comes down to the execution and the health and all the different things that go into it. But it's a long grind. But I think I try to make sure guys understand now is just be in the moment.
So
let's be the best we can be today.
Right. In terms of that bond and playing for one another, Calais Campbell, I mean, how did you guys grow closer together from that awful day in training camp, or right before the beginning of the season, after training camp, but right before the beginning of the season, where Gus Edwards and Marcus Peters go down with knee injuries after Dobbins went down with a knee injury? It was just like it was a rash that completely blew my mind from just the outside looking in. What about your team and bonding through and around all of that?
Yeah, it was. That was a crazy day. In all my years of football, I never seen anything like that. Where two of your star players go down within plays of each other. It was literally like 3 plays later. And like the first time, when MP went down, he went down first, and it just takes the wind out of you. We're having a great practice, we're flying around, we're having fun, and then a guy that you just you have so much love for, admiration, for the way he plays the game, the way he what he brings to the game. And it's just like, man, your heart breaks for him, because I know our depth, I know who we have stepping up that can make plays. I know we're still going to be a good football team, but it's just like, man, I know how hard he worked and like how good of a season he could have had. And just kind of your heart breaks for him. And then, literally a couple plays later, you see Gus go down, and another guy that I've been a big fan of because he went to the U, and I've been following his career, all of his career I've been following him, and just a big fan of his, and just seeing his development and how he's become just this guy was ready to take over the league. I just felt like he could have been all-pro this year. And then, he goes down. It's just like, wow, and then coach called the practice up, and it was just, you could feel the energy, in the building just kind of get sucked out. But we got great leaders and great people who've been through some stuff, and understand that, we couldn't let that deter us. We had to just come together and then, play for them, because they're still part of this. Everything we did up until this point, they're still a big part of it. And they still come into the building, and still bring that good energy in the building still, so which has been great for us.
And then, the season opener, the Monday Nighter in Las Vegas, which was insane. It was like a trip to Vegas all in one 5-quarter football game, and then that moment in time where you're staring, 0-2 right in the face with the Chiefs just needing to hold on to the football to win it, and your teammate Owe comes up with a huge play. How good is this kid and what you're seeing right next to you on that line, Calais?
Yeah, he's special. He's just a young, talented kid with a whole lot of heart. Plays hard, and I don't think he even realized how big of a moment that is. I tell him, but I don't want to get too big-headed, so I don't make too big of a deal about it. You got to make sure, keep him humble and working. But his potential is through the roof, and he has a knack for making plays. That's something that, they're playing for a field goal. Would have been tough kick in that position. Especially with the way we rushed the kicker. But in that situation, it was like, man, it's gonna be a tough ball game to win unless we make a play. And he comes up with play. Forcing a fumble and recovering it, and that's spectacular. And that's something you can't coach. It's just instincts. He has a knack for making plays, and it's special. But we have a lot of guys like that on this team. Mm-hmm. That's why I feel like we have a real chance. But obviously, that's some stuff you can't do it today. All you have to do is take advantage of the moment in front of you. And Monday Night Football, man, it's gonna be a tough matchup. So we got to go out there and be our best.
You have a few more minutes left here with Calais Campbell on the Rich Eisen Show. What did it mean to see Harbaugh? I don't know if you heard it at the time, but we saw the NBC cameras on that Week 2 Sunday night catch Harbaugh ask Lamar if he wanted to go for it on that 4th down to wrap it up. And obviously you'd have been in a very difficult position having to defend against Patrick Mahomes on a shorter field with backs against the wall and only needing a field goal. What did that mean for you to see that from your coach? that
I
moment?
mean, so I'll say this. Harbs, he's a guy. He's a man of his word. And he has his beliefs and things that mean something to him, and he sticks up for him. And I remember when we were practicing in camp, and he was talking about, in those 4-for-1 situations when it's a tough ball game, what do you guys want? And so everything's situational in a sense, but generally speaking, I feel like our offense. I'm very confident our offense can pick up a yard. We're the best running football team, and probably in the history of the game up there. One of the best in the history of the game. And so for us to go get 1 yard, I feel like it's very doable with the guys we have, out there controlling it. So, I felt pretty good about being able to get that 1 yard. But then again, as a defender, when you only got to defend 1 yard for one play, you sell out. And so it's definitely a balance. And, I remember Coach looking to the sideline and, everybody on the sideline saying, go for it, go for it, go for it. And he asked Lamar, and you already know Lamar's, he's confident in his ability and put the ball in his hands. He's going to make it happen. So it was a crazy moment, I personally, being trying to be a strategic person in the game, like, it's okay if we point it though, because I know our defense can go out there and get a stop. But it is Patrick Mahomes. And statistically, I know that 1 yard we can get right here, let's go get it. So it was definitely a torn decision for me, but Harbs, being who he is, it wasn't a doubt. He knew we can go get it.
No, I know you're one of the best running offenses of all time, 44 straight games with at least 100 yards, Calais, a record that was achieved this past week on what I believe another coach called a BS play, Calais. What did you think of what Vic Fangio had to say after your coach said, let's go for it with just one play left, said it would mean a lot to the team? What do you think of the way the Broncos took it?
Yeah, I'll say this. To me, I feel like I'm glad my coach is a person that will go for it, go get that, because it means something, in this building, to be a part of history, for what we do and how hard we work. I was on the field saying, let's get a stop so we can get the ball back for offense so we can go get 100 yards, because it means something. That's something that it's a lot of hard work, a lot of people who go, above and beyond to be able to be in that position to capture and, to capture a record like that, and to be in the history book, something that stood for 40 years, over 40 years. And so that's important, because this game, you want, it's a special game. It's a fun game. A lot of great people have played it. And when you can get your name in history, and be a part of something like that, it's special. And so for me, I'm so glad my coach, is the kind of guy that will go for it, because to me, this team, just being a part of something, you want to be a part of something special. And, obviously we have bigger goals than that, but that is something that's definitely, it's cool to be a part of.
And of course, you're not 3-1 going for a 4-1 record against the Colts if not for your kicker, right? Like, you got to give it up for your kicker, because we just skipped right around that 66-yard field goal in Detroit.
Yeah.
Calais, what was your perspective on that one? What was your perspective?
I see Tuck in practice, and I'm like, man, this guy has such an incredible leg, and like he has like just the nerves of steel. I mean, he's an incredible person, an incredible football player. And just see, when we got that ball and Sammy Watkins caught it, and obviously, we're like, get out of bounds, and he goes down, and so we have to, spike it real quick, and then I'm thinking to myself like, all right, we've shown a couple times, in games where we just go get extra 6-7 yards, and he took that away, so he had to throw it away. So now I'm like, this is a long kick. I think but we got tucked though. We good right here. This is enough. We can kick it from here. And I just told myself, because I blocked for him, so just give him a little more time, because I know he's going to take a little bigger step. And just seeing that ball, float through the air and hitting that upright, or hitting the goalpost and bouncing in the air, like your heart stops for a second. It's like, wow. And I didn't even know how long it was. I knew it was close to the record, but I didn't even know it was a record till afterwards. But just it's great having somebody like Tucker. Incredible football player. Probably the best ever at his position. And much respect to all the great kickers that come before him. And it's an arguable, conversation. But I'm a little biased because he's my teammate.
Yeah.
But what he did right there, definitely put him in the conversation for being the best ever.
I just, even in all this, and I do want to ask you about the Colts before you go. You've had a full season in the first month. It seems. I mean, not just walking through this with you right here. You've jammed an entire season's worth of drama in just 4 weeks. That's incredible.
Hey,
and you're 3-1.
Battle tested. We learned how to win tough ball games. and building our confidence, which I think is crucial for where we want to go.
All right, so what is the challenge for the Colts, for you with the Colts? Carson Wentz with banged-up ankles, but they come off a win. That kid from Wisconsin comes downhill fast. What do you got for me on that front, Calais? I'll let you go.
Complete team that has it has every piece you need to win ball games. Desperate, trying to get back into the fight. Talent everywhere. I mean, their running game. They have literally 4 running backs who you have to respect, that can take it for a home run at any given time. People forget about Wilkins, but he's a good player too. I've played against all of them multiple times, being in the same division for a couple of years, and I nothing but respect for all the running backs. But it starts with Taylor. He's a beast, and what he did last week was it was special. It's just he really put the team on his back a little bit, in my opinion. Then Carson Wentz stepped up and had his best game as a Colt. But I've played against Carson Wentz multiple times as well.
That's right.
And with him, he's a competitor. And so this is going to be it's going to take all of us. It's going to take our best effort, because this team, the way their defense is too, they're just a talented team, and they're starting to get it rolling. So it's going to take our A game.
Well, look, Calais, I know I've kept you on the phone a long time during a middle of a week on a practice day, but I always want to give you the chance to tell us what's going on in your world with your charitable works and your works in the community. Your Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner. You got that patch on your jersey, which not everybody, very few people have. It's the best patch in the NFL, and I know that there's a C patch for a lot of people too. What is going on in your world that you might want people to be a part of, Calais?
Yeah, honestly, it's just getting out in the community, getting to know Baltimore. Getting out in some of the recreation centers and schools, and trying to just arm them with tools. Teaming up with the Ravens and passing out laptops the last couple weeks. Trying to fight the digital divide. Obviously, it was just one of those things where giving away laptops and internet service, and then just trying to do my part as a mentor and talking to kids and stuff. But it's always fun, when you can go out and get in the community and put a smile on the kids' faces, man. I take great pride in that. It's a great honor to be a role model in this community.
You're the best, Calais Campbell. Thank you for the time. Let's stay in touch. What a season you've had so far. Appreciate it. Thank you for the call.
Rich, it's always a pleasure, man.
Right back at you. That is Calais Campbell prior to the Colts on Monday Night Football. Right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Oh, baby. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.